This podcast discusses paranormal activity and other topics some might find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised.
Is it a chill or a ghostly breeze? A knock, a tap, what do you believe? Ghosts, gossip, gather around, where the lost and the haunted are found. Ghosts, gossip, don't make a sound. Truth or tales, we'll dig it out.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Ghost Gossip. Today I am joined by John Methencamp, and he is the host of his own podcast, Myths, Monsters, and Mullets. Y'all make sure to go give him a like and subscribe and rate us 5 stars all the way around. If you don't have a 5-star rating for us, email us and we'll send your email directly to our HR department. Y'all, this is a great show. After you get done listening to mine, hop on over to John's podcast and YouTube and watch my interview on his channel. You're just going to get your fill of me and John, and yes, you're welcome for that. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Hello, everybody. My name is Ashley, and welcome to another episode of Ghost Gossip. Today, I'm joined by one of my good old buddies, the myth, the man, the legend himself, John Methencamp. I feel like, hold on, I think I have a button for this.
Thank you very much.
Hey, John.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am just peachy.
We have been talking for like 3 hours.
We have. That happened. That tends to happen when people come on my show.
Yes,
So,
I can tell. I definitely can tell. People like talking to you.
it's a mullet.
It's
Makes
gotta
people
be.
feel at ease.
Just before we get into John, I just want to say, when I met John on TikTok, I was so unsure about him because I did not realize that John Methencamp was a character and not himself. And he talks about cougars and MILFs. And I was like, who is this weirdo on the internet? And he truly is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. And I'm so honored that he's here to join the tomfoolery of Ghost Gossip. So thank you for coming on, and let's get to know you.
Well, yeah, my name is actually John Fike. I started my content creation as purely comedy. I started playing this character named John Cougar Hunter Methencamp, and I've had this fake mullet. My character has a mullet, and he's basically a ladies' man from the 80s that's kind of stuck there.
He's stuck. Does he have a Trans Am?
Camaro
Oh, close.
called the Booty Snatcher.
Oh, my.
Yeah. So a few years ago, I'd lost my job due to the pandemic, and I started working at a new place, and there was a guy there that I was working with. He and I had a lot of very similar interests, and our personalities were very similar, sense of humor, everything. Well, one night he comes in with this fake mullet, and we're taking pictures and, whatever. So when I was younger, I did date a very much older woman. So I kind of already had this nickname as, Cougar Hunter. Okay.
Right.
So I put this mullet on, and somebody says something about, you're John Cougar Hunter Methencamp. And I'm looking at this, it's ratty mullet. I was like, it's more like Methencamp. And
it was born.
That's how it was born.
Yeah.
Me and this guy were going back and forth, just making up this crazy backstory for who John Methencamp is. Well, we were going to do some videos and do some, a whole bunch of different things. And we did a few together, and then he kind of lost interest, and I ran with it. I started setting up my phone on my dash and just recording myself as I'm driving home from work with the mullet on. And I make up this whole backstory about this guy and what a cougar hunter is, and just it's just silliness. It's silliness. But it gained me 10,000 followers on TikTok just being silly.
Maybe that's what I'm missing.
You're missing a cougar hunter, or you're missing a mullet?
A mullet. I'm married. I think I'm married to the other.
Yes. Everybody should have a mullet.
I mean, it's good goals to have.
Right. So I did this whole comedy thing for couple years. And one night last year, 2024, I'm sitting around the campfire. My wife and I, the lovely Mrs. Fike, we like to primitive camp. You know, she sleeps in a tent. I do not like air mattresses. They kill my back. So I sleep in a hammock and we primitive camp. Well, she goes to bed because she's a wimp and she can't stay up all night.
Jesus.
If you haven't watched my lives, I make fun of her. She's usually in the same room with me, especially during my lives, because she's my moderator. But like I said, she is a saint, and she will.
She's wonderful.
She takes it, but she gives it right back. So that's why I love her.
Yeah,
anyway,
and you're
I'm sitting
talking
around-
about how I'm mean to my husband.
You're right. You're right. You're right. So one night I was sitting around the campfire, and I've always had an interest in the paranormal. I'm like, I'm bored. I'm going to go on TikTok live. And I'm like, I'm just going to ask people for their paranormal encounters. See who has a ghost story for me. Took off. Like every time I'd go camping, I would do one of these and I would just get guest after guest after guest coming in, telling their ghost stories. I'm like, this is pretty cool. You know, it's fun. Well, then weather started turning colder and I was like, oh, you know, people were liking that. So let's continue doing it. And I started doing it from my couch. Well, in October of last year, I went to the Ohio Bigfoot Jamboree in Ada, Ohio, put on by Cryptids of the Corn. And I just went there. I was in my getup. I had my mullet on and I was being Methencamp at this thing. And Methencamp is actually the exact opposite of me.
Yes.
You know, I love my wife. I am not a womanizer. I don't go out chasing women. I don't sit around drinking beer all day. You know, I could probably, I think when we were on vacation, I had two.
Right.
You know, he's the complete opposite of who I am. But we're at this Ohio Bigfoot Jamboree, and I go to the booth of Nevermore Hollows, and I'd never heard of Nevermore Hollows at this point. And I'm like, you know, what's all this about? And we start messaging each other. He comes on the live, and Alan and Chris from Nevermore Hollows, they come in my live, and they start watching what I'm doing in the lives. Alan's like, dude, you've got all this content. You're already doing the work. Why not just upload it to YouTube and create a podcast?
Right.
You know, you're basically doing it, but you're not calling it a podcast. I'm like, okay, yeah, I could probably do that. Let's try it. So I decide I'm going to separate Methencamp from the paranormal.
Right.
I do my next live without the mullet on. It's John Fike. Every single person that came in the live, the first thing they asked was, where's your mullet?
Where's your mullet, man?
And I'm like, you know, well, I'm trying to do something different, you know, and this went on. I did like, I think 3 of them without the mullet. And every time people were coming in, where's your mullet? Where's your mullet? So I'm like, okay, Methencamp stays, you know, and I was told by Matthew from Drunken Crypt is one of the first things you do. You've got to find a name
Yeah.
that's going to stick out and stuff like that. That's how Myths, Monsters, and Mullets was born.
Right.
It was just, the mullet had to stay because that's what my followers wanted. So yeah.
That's awesome.
That's how it was born.
And that's awesome. Like to find that little niche, like it's just, you find it. And then the only bad thing, I guess, would be like when you try to do something different, it's like you have those people that change is not, they don't like change. We don't like change. Yucky
Right.
change. Get away from me. And that's probably one of the tougher things because you kind of like get into a box and it's hard to kind of get past the box. But it's really cool that you found that group and that it resonated with people. So not only was it comedy, which especially coming out of 2020, 2021, you know, and all that, so many people were affected differently by COVID, but we all were affected. You found they were finding joy in what you were doing. I mean,
Right.
I found joy in it, but I thought you were weird.
And I can understand that. And you know what's funny? When I would look at my analytics on TikTok, it's something like 70% of my followers are female. And the jokes I'm making are not geared towards females. I don't get it. But like 70% of my followers are female. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Whatever
It's the mullet.
works. I
I'll be
don't.
the mullet.
I need to look at mine. I really don't know. I know that I get weird men sometimes, but I think a lot of, now I don't know because I don't look, but I need to look. But I think most of mine are female.
Yeah.
I think especially my listeners are mainly female.
On all platforms or just TikTok?
On all platforms. Yeah. I think mainly my listeners are female, but I could be wrong. I haven't looked in a long time,
Yeah.
I get overwhelmed because I'm like, OCD and ADHD. I'm not good enough. I'm not doing this right. And I'm not growing fast enough. And I get in my head about it, And so I try not to focus too much on the numbers because if you do, it will. I mean, this is something that for most people, it doesn't happen overnight. For most people, it takes time. And I have to remind myself that a little bit of growth is still growth. Like,
yes,
not everybody gets thousands of followers or thousands of listens overnight, that this is a process. And as long as you're being consistent and you're sticking to it and you're pushing through those hard times, that growth will come. It doesn't have to be instant. Growth is growth regardless of the pace of it. So I don't look.
I watched a video because, I am interested in growing, and I want to know what I'm doing wrong.
Right.
So I do follow some content creators that basically give you courses on, what you're doing that's killing your videos and stuff like that.
Can I stop you for a second?
Go ahead.
This just said methylene. So guys, on John's episode, we started talking about the necrometer. We're bringing it over and it said methylene. Isn't that crazy?
That is hilarious.
Okay. I'm just putting,
That
I
is
just looked
hilarious.
over and saw that and I was like, it has never said anything with the word meth in it before.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Okay. Back. I don't even know where you were. So sorry.
I was talking about, we were talking about growth.
Yes. Growth. You watched a video.
Yeah, I was watching this video and this guy's like, what if I told you that there was this YouTube channel that after 3 years only had 1,000 subscribers. And now this YouTuber is possibly the biggest YouTuber in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
After 3 years, he only had 1,000 subscribers. So the point of this video was stop looking at the numbers while you're trying to grow.
Yeah.
And just focus on growing.
Yeah.
So
I think so many people get into podcasting and they think it's easy. You have a microphone, you can just record it. It's so easy. But you lose a lot of them because they realize this isn't easy and it's not lucrative. So unless you just have a passion for it, you are essentially working for nothing.
absolutely.
And I think that's why you see some of these podcasts, they have like 10 episodes and then it's gone and it was back in 2023. And I get it because like there were so many times I was like, I can't keep doing this. I cannot. And we've talked like, I can't keep doing this. Like I am driving myself crazy. And it was finding like, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have found Riverside. And Riverside has been a game changer because now I can do 3-4 interviews a week and
Right.
edit those throughout the day. And I'm not killing myself. I was spending 10 hours editing one episode. It was horrible. I couldn't, that wasn't sustainable.
No. And you're right. I went into this pretty much blind. I did have a support system though. I did have Nevermore Hollows. I
Yeah.
had Drunken Cryptids.
Which is great.
Right. And that would be my one advice to anybody wanting to start a podcast is talk to other podcasters.
Yes. Find a network of people.
Yes, absolutely. Even if it's just one or two
Mm-hmm.
that can give you and kind of point you in the right direction. The other thing is people will forgive bad video, but if your audio is bad, you need to work on it.
Oh,
Really,
yeah.
you have to have good audio.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be your biggest expense from the beginning.
Yep.
Is the audio.
Uh-huh.
But it's worth it because people will tune out if you're muffled,
Yeah.
if there's, a bunch of background noise, things like that. Work on your audio first.
For sure.
If you plan on doing a video podcast, that should be secondary. Work on your audio first and realize that you are not a professional from the beginning. You're going to look back. I look back at some of my early episodes and they're trash in my eyes.
Mine are too. Mine are so bad.
Right. You haven't found yourself as in your presentation style.
Right.
So just let that evolve and don't be so hard on yourself about those first few episodes because yeah, you're not going to sound how you're going to end up.
It's funny. This first few, it's like the first 30 of mine, trash. But once I got good microphones, I have a new soundboard that is amazing. And then finding an editing software, oh my gosh, everything is simplified. And now I feel like an actual podcaster because I can handle multiple at a time. And I'm a month ahead right now, which is
It's
amazing.
awesome.
I've never been able, it was week to week. It was like living paycheck to paycheck, except no paycheck.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But like,
I'm actually able to be monetized on Spotify now.
are you?
I can take subscriptions.
Yay! That's so awesome.
And I'm very close on YouTube. I just need my watch hours to go up a little bit. So
I think I can do subscriptions on Spotify, but I haven't yet. I haven't even looked at it. I think I can. I can't
yeah,
get commercials yet.
it's a lot easier on Spotify than it is on YouTube.
That's
I
awesome.
think Spotify is you have to have 100 people tune in 30 days,
Yeah.
and you have to have I forget how many downloads and
Well,
streams.
you just celebrated a big milestone on YouTube.
Yes, I just hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We got a podcast full of people in here, but yes, that is
That's
amazing.
right. Live studio audience.
Meanwhile, nope, my cat and my dog have left. I was going to say we have something living in here, but they have since left us. They were like, y'all are talking too long.
Yeah, right, right.
But it's been fun. It's been fun.
It has, and that's one of the things. You know, we talked about it a little bit. I don't know if we actually recorded that part, but with Myths, Monsters, and Mullets, I want people to see my guest as people
Yes.
first, with encounters, not just about the encounters.
Right.
So when you listen to my show, you are going to hear me get off on tangents. We're going to talk, but it's how people talk in real life, or how I talk in real life, I should say. It's just honest conversations, and I want people to see my guest as real people.
Yeah, like
not just their stories.
If y'all listen to my episode on his show, we became a marriage podcast all of a sudden. So he is
Right.
now advertising as Myths, Monsters, Mullets, and Marriage.
Right. So I got to redo my entire background now.
I want a shirt.
I'll make it happen. I will make it happen.
I have no doubt in my mind. So is that where the paranormal, was the TikTok lives asking for the paranormal stories? Is that like really where your interest in paranormal came from? Or were you interested in the paranormal before the mullet?
No, I was interested. I'd always watched like the ghost hunting shows, and I'd watched Finding Bigfoot, but it really wasn't like, it was more the paranormal shows like Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures, and you know, all those types of shows. And the same guy that brought in the mullet, he had actually done some small paranormal investigations at people's houses and things like that. And he had a little bit of equipment, a little bit of recording equipment and stuff like that. I live 20 minutes north of the Randolph County Infirmary. And if you haven't heard of Randolph County Infirmary, it's been featured on a lot of the ghost hunting shows. It is highly haunted.
I'm going to do an episode about it.
Yes. And if you need any help with that, let me know.
I will.
Absolutely. I work side by side with this guy, and we're talking about ghost hunting and things like that. Well, one of the shows that we were watching at the time was the show Hellier. And I don't know if you've ever heard of that. You can find it on Amazon Prime. There's 2 seasons of it. And it's just this big rabbit hole about the town of Hellier, Kentucky. And it's a good thing. I like a good show to watch.
Okay.
But one of the things that we watched on there, and I had never seen it done. Like I had an interest in the paranormal, but it wasn't like I had to sit down and watch it. It was like, oh, that's cool. Let's watch that.
Yeah. Something interesting that's on.
Right. Well, one of the things on Hellier, they were doing the Estes.
Yeah.
The Estes sessions. And we were both talking about that. And we're like, well, let's go to the Randolph County Infirmary. We'll get a group of guys together from work and our spouses, and we'll just go down there and act like ghost hunters. Okay. Well, I am skeptical when I'm watching these shows.
Right.
And I'm like, 99% of this stuff, I can debunk watching it on the TV,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, we do this. I'm going to be the guy who debunks everything.
Yeah. My purpose is to prove it something other
Right.
than paranormal.
It's a bunch of scared people in a dark building is all this is. We get there. The Randolph County Infirmary is like something that 50,000 square feet. It's a massive building.
Wow.
Okay. We get there and we start taking pictures around the outside of the building, and because it's a beautiful building. My wife, she has a decent digital camera.
Mm-hmm.
We put brand new batteries in it. I had bought a couple cheap night vision cameras. I got one right here, as a matter of fact. Like, I mean, they're freaking Amazon cameras,
Right.
We bought a couple of those and some voice recorders, and we have the same spirit box they use on Ghost Adventures and things like that. And so we start taking pictures, and we have like 16 people with us.
Oh, wow.
Okay. It was a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
In hindsight, too many.
Too many. Yeah. There's a lot of room for error when there's that many people.
Right. And in hindsight, we realized that.
Yeah.
But we're amateurs,
You live and you learn.
Right. So we start taking pictures around the outside, and then they give you a little tour of the building. And so we're sitting there and we're taking pictures during that part, and you go through the tour, and then you're free to just whatever. They leave. Here you go. We'll be back at 9:00 in the morning to lock up.
So it's like a complete overnight.
Yeah.
Oh,
we got it
boy.
from, I think, either 5 or 6 in the evening till 9:00 the next morning.
Wow.
Yeah. So, we start doing, like, me and my wife, we start going around taking pictures and stuff like that before we actually start doing any experiments or investigating. My wife took, I think, a total of 22 pictures with that camera before the batteries died. Yeah.
Does
They
she
were
have like a
brand new.
nice Canon DSLR?
No, it's a nice digital camera, but it's nothing like expensive. Like,
But was it like a DSLR camera?
what do you mean DSLR? I don't know camera lingo.
Sorry, I'm a photographer. So it's not like this is a EOS. It's like what people do
The
photography
one she
with.
has is about the size you have right there.
Okay. So, batteries last longer than 22 pictures.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and these were fresh batteries that right out of the pack. There was no reason for her to. I mean, it doesn't have the rechargeable battery in it. Let's put it that way.
Okay, so that's what I was trying to get at, because when I used to photograph weddings, that would be 4 to 6 hours, and I could do about 4 hours on one battery, and I was taking thousands of pictures.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, there was no reason. Anytime she's ever used that camera before or after, the batteries last. A
while.
months and months and months.
Right.
So yeah, 22 pictures in, and the batteries die.
Wow.
Like, okay. No, that's weird, because that's one of the things you see in all these ghost hunting shows. So, okay, weird. Doesn't mean it wasn't a bad battery.
Right.
Okay?
Not paranormal necessarily.
Right. So the first thing we decided we were going to do is, in the basement of the infirmary is the morgue. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We decided we wanted to do Estes sessions in the morgue. So my buddy had, like I said, we had the ghost box, spirit box, whatever you call it. Same one they have on Ghost Adventures.
Mhm.
We modified it the same way that Zach Baggins said to modify it. Because if you don't modify it and you're close to a larger city, you're going to get all kinds of radio signals.
Okay.
So you modify it to where basically what you're doing is you're taking the antenna off.
Okay. I hadn't seen
So
that before.
it's only gonna pick up signals that are close.
Okay. That makes sense.
So yeah. So we did that. Well, my buddy had Turtle Beach headphones, really good noise canceling. He's a gamer, So we had some really nice noise canceling headphones. You can't hear crap outside of the
Right.
headphones. And blindfold. We set up a table, and the one guy said he wants to go first. So we set him up. He's got the blindfold on, these headphones on. We're all like around him, like not up next to him, but like in a semicircle around the edge of the room. And we're asking questions, and he's just sitting there, nothing, just
Right.
sitting there. And I'm thinking, okay, this is crap.
This is
they're
all crap.
it's all bull crap.
Bullshit. Everything's a lie. Everything's a lie. A lie.
I was like, I knew this stuff was fake.
Debunked.
I knew it. I was like, this stuff doesn't work. Okay. Well, We had agreed. I think it was 15 minutes is what we said we were going to have each person do it. And one of the reasons that we decided to do it that way was I had tested the camera that we were using to record it, and I knew that I tested how long the batteries lasted on one charge, and the battery just running nonstop would last an hour and 15 minutes. We had 4 people doing it, so that gave us 15 extra minutes to like switch and stuff like that. So it was like 15 minutes per person. That'd be perfect. We're about 8 minutes into this first guy doing it, and all of a sudden he starts like swaying. And we're like, is he dancing to music? What is he doing? Then he starts breathing real heavy. I'm like, what is going on here? He starts sobbing, crying. And then he screams, I'm dead. Like screams, I am dead. And this guy is bawling like a child that can't catch his breath. Like he's like that hyperventilating, crying. And my buddy goes over and he pulls the headphones off, pulls the blindfolds off. This grown man has tears running down his face. Okay.
God.
And we're all looking at each other like, what the just happened here, And so my buddy and that guy's wife take him upstairs to calm him down.
And get him out of there. He needs to be out of that,
right.
that environment.
Right. Well, I was supposed to go next. And
John's like, not it.
actually, no. The one woman was with us. She's like, John, you sure you want to do this? And I'm like, absolutely. So I put the headphones on, and I immediately realized that what had happened was we didn't test this before we did it. And the sweep pattern was so fast, it never stopped on a radio station. Like there was no possible way for a word to come through because it was sweeping so fast. He was listening to white noise. He was basically in sensory deprivation for 8 minutes, listening to nothing but white noise. And
So
I'm like,
he never heard a word?
no.
So he didn't hear I am dead.
No. So I'm like, okay, he put himself in a trance.
Well,
That's what happened here. He put himself in a trance.
That's kind of the
I
point.
got this figured out.
Yes,
I got it figured out.
kind of the point.
Again, I debunked it. Okay.
I've won.
Yes. I turn it down to where it's like that.
Yeah.
And I do the Estes experiment. Well, I do mine. And like I said, this is all recorded. We asked this guy after because when I get done, I take the blindfold off and the headphones off. He's in the room again. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that he'd come back. And so I'm like, dude, what happened? Okay. He's like, well, all I could hear was the static. And he even said, he goes, I think I put myself in a trance. He's like, because I felt like I was walking down the hallway to the room where we were doing the Estes experiment. He said, but I felt like I was walking for like 2 hours. And he said, I started getting panicked. Like I was lost in this building. He said, but then I finally found the room. And when I walked in, I saw myself sitting in the chair doing the Estes experiment. Uh-oh. So that's when he thought he was he had died and was having an out of body experience. And that's when he screamed, I'm dead. So he really thought he had died. So I'm an idiot. Okay. I really am.
Oh,
because going into this thing, I said, you know what? I want to do all the video editing and going through all the evidence. I told you we were in that place for 15 hours?
Uh-huh. That's a lot.
We had a total of 14 cameras.
Holy crap.
Like 6 audio recorders. That's a lot of work. Okay.
Have you gotten through it all yet?
Yeah, I did. I made it through it. It took me months. But the way I handled it was I knew that there were certain parts or certain things that happened during the night that were questionable. And I focused on them first and then just branched out and went through the rest of it to try to find other stuff.
Right.
So we knew that we had this thing where he had this out-of-body experience. So that was the first thing that I went back and looked at the evidence on. Caught all of his stuff on there. There were some EVPs that happened during that, but nothing wild. And during those Estes experiments, I really had to be careful with the EVPs because there were so many people in the room.
Yes.
So, it had to been the stuff that I was hearing, the EVPs that I did catch, they didn't sound human. Let's put it that way.
Gotcha.
They either sounded mechanical or just straight up
demonic,
weird, evil,
dark, like growling, like.
Yeah. Didn't sound like a human being making the voice. So I started going back through, caught a couple EVPs during his. So I was next. So I went through mine. In the video, you can hear this guy and his wife coming down the steps and into the room. I can't hear this at the time because I get these noise canceling headphones on. Well, I say during the Estes experiment, and I always get confused at the order I say these words in, but these are the words that I said. I said, she goes intruder with child. And at the time, I don't know that any of this is going on. It wasn't brought up to me that I had said these words because it was all being recorded and I was supposed to go back through it. Well, I hear this, and this is a guy that I worked with at the time. So I go to work the next day, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to get too personal, but is your wife pregnant? And the color leaves his face. I mean, like, he turns white.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, why? And I told him what I found in the recording. And he said, she was at the time, but she lost the baby.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that just gave me chills.
Right? So I'm like, okay, that's more than a coincidence, because I said that as they were walking into the room. Like, you can hear their footsteps. What's it say?
Before it said something else. It said my death day.
Really?
And so you know, I have my headphones on, and neither of my devices can hear what you're saying.
Wow. Yeah, that's weird.
It is weird, the timing of that.
Right.
Wow.
So then so okay, we had that. Well, then the third guy does the Estes experiment. We only ended up doing 3 because of all the stuff that happened with the first guy.
Right.
So the third guy does it, and he's going to be coming on my show here in a few weeks. He's going to verify all this stuff that I talk about all the time.
Yeah.
But he starts doing the Estes experiment, and he's having some words come through. But the most interesting thing that happened during his, I really should do notes. I am the least organized podcaster on the planet. Literally, my notes in front of me right now say Ashley and the 2 words that we're waiting to see if the Necronomicon or whatever it's called.
The Necronomicon.
Whatever
The
comes up
necrometer.
with these 2 words.
Yeah.
Man, what is it?
Necrometer.
Necrometer. I keep wanting to say necromancer.
I think
whatever.
some people pronounce it necrometer. Maybe that
Okay.
you've probably heard it pronounced that way. I call it necrometer because I am very fanatical. Basic English.
So anyway, I didn't take any notes before this, but I can send you videos. He says, I think he said the number 32. I think he said power and dies. Well, in the middle of him doing his Estes experiment, remember I said the batteries would last an hour and 15 minutes. We've only done 2 full sessions, so that's half hour. We had a little bit of lag in between. We're at like 45, maybe 50 minutes at this point. Becca says, hey, the battery's dying on the camera. So I'm over there. I'm switching out cameras real quick.
Yeah.
So we can catch the rest of his. I go back and check the video. Whatever number he said, I think it was 32. Somewhere around 30. That was how many seconds it was until the battery died.
Oh my gosh.
On that camera. And he said something about charge and dying.
Oh wow. The spirit's like, y'all about to lose all of this. Your camera's
I
about to
really
die.
do feel like that night, that was the other side saying, you don't believe, we're going to show you.
Wow.
Because I haven't even got to the wild stuff yet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The same night?
Oh yeah. So anyway, while we're doing these Estes experiments, I'm realizing at this point that we have way too many people here. The one good thing is that after this first set of Estes experiments, and everybody had walked around and taken their pictures and stuff like that, most people were like, we've got our money's worth.
We're good.
Yeah. Like they just watched a dude have an out-of-body experience, okay? And most of these people here don't even believe in the paranormal and stuff like that. So some of them are freaked out. Some of them are like, I've had my fun.
I'm
We
done.
ordered pizza. It was a little bit of a party at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
They were done. So by midnight, I would say that number was 10. Okay. Becca tapped out early. She was a wimp.
Jeez.
No, really, she had dislocated her ankle the summer before,
Oh my
so her
gosh.
ankle was hurting. It
And
was
I'm
a little
sure it's
chilly
just
that
all
night,
concrete in there.
and it's a lot. I mean, it's cement floors and a bunch of steps and
Mm,
stuff like that, and so her ankle was hurting. I just
right.
like giving her crap.
Right. Of
But
course.
one of the things after Becca left, I was like, okay, they wanted to do some more Estes sessions up in the attic, and I'm like, cool, because there's an attic, 2 living floors, and a basement.
Hmm.
Okay, so you are way far away. Like, you guys go up there. I am going solo in the basement because I want to be away from everybody talking. I don't want to hear any whispers. I don't want to hear any of that. I was like, if we're gonna find evidence, that's the only way we're gonna do it. So they'd say they're cool. Okay. Everybody else goes upstairs. I start wandering the basement. And one of the places that they pointed out during the tour is the kitchen. And there's supposed to be a spirit named Doris that lives there. And I set up my camera. Well, at first I think I'm holding it, and then I realized I probably should set it down because you can hear me moving around and
Right.
stuff like that. But I go in there and I'm like, okay, I've seen some weird things tonight. We've had batteries die unexplained or unexpectedly. We had that weird thing that happened down the hall with the out of body experience. I'm still not convinced though, because at this point I haven't seen the replay of, my Estes experiment. So I'm like, I need you to prove to me that ghosts are real. In the kitchen, there's a ceiling fan, and hanging from the ceiling fan are the 2 chains to turn on the light or the fan. Well, somebody at some point had attached a feather to one of those chains. So I have my camera set up and I'm like, if ghosts are real, move that feather and I'll believe you. Just move the feather. That's all you got to do. Easiest thing in this room that you can do. Feather didn't move.
Ah, crap.
So, right.
I was ready.
I know. I did that on purpose.
Ah, you are an ass.
I am sometimes, a lot of times. If you ask my ex-wife, all the time. Anyway, in the kitchen, there's these stainless steel counters. So I'm like, can you make a noise? Can you knock? Can you bang on something? So I knock on that stainless steel counter, and I was like, do something. Well, like a couple seconds later, I hear this bang in the next room, and in the video, you hear me laugh because I'm like, holy shit,
Right. You're like, oh my God, I didn't expect it to happen.
Right. I'm like, okay, but still could be a coincidence.
Of course. Explainable.
I have got to rule out that there isn't some kind of like heating system or something in this other room, whatever. So I go into the next room. There's nothing. There's no pipes on the walls. There's nothing. There's a wooden countertop in there, but not a metal countertop. Nothing that would have made this sound, because it sounded pretty similar to what I heard or what I made. I'm like, okay, got my attention, and I'm so close. But if you can make that sound again with me in this room, I'll be a believer. Literally within 2 seconds, it happens right in front of me. Same sound.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay.
You win.
I believe you now.
You win.
I believe you now. And I go and I find everybody else. I'm like, you guys have got to hear this.
You will not believe what just happened to me.
Right. So eventually it gets to be like 3:00 in the morning, and we are down to 5 people. We had some other weird stuff happen throughout the night. Nothing major, but most of the activity we were getting was in this basement. So
What is it about a basement? Like,
I
why
don't
is
know.
it always the basement?
I don't know, but at Randolph County Infirmary, that's where we had all of our experiences, was in like major things is in the basement. So we're like, okay, we need to let our digital cameras charge, and we wanted to charge our audio recorders and things like that. So we had some old like video cassette style cameras, and what we'd planned on using them for was exactly what we're getting ready to do, was use them as static cameras whenever we needed to take a break. We had 5 of these static cameras set up on tripods. We had them set up so that you couldn't, when you came down to the basement, you would show up on the first camera. And then each camera after that showed the other camera. So there was no way for somebody to do anything without being on camera. When we when we went back down to get the cameras, we took them down in the order that the last camera that would be picked up was the one you picked up as you went up the steps. We were trying to be as professional as possible, and we didn't want anybody to accuse us of manipulating anything. So we've picked up 3 of the cameras. I picked up the one that we'd set up in the kitchen. This whole time I have my audio recorder going. Okay. I'm fumbling with this camera, and it's myself, 2 guys I worked with, and then another couple that had come that we'd met online. They came down to investigate with us. And I am in the kitchen with this couple. The other 2 guys are walking down the hall to grab the last camera. And you can see all of us on this last camera. We're all accounted for on film. I say something to the couple because they had talked about doing like a solo or just them doing an investigation down in the basement. I was like, hey, are you guys going to stay down here or are you going to come back up first? Basically, I was saying, can you help me carry some cameras? Is what I was trying to say. All of a sudden, a rock comes out of the darkness and hits the cabinet next to my leg.
Somebody threw something at you.
And it took everything I had at that point not to drop an F-bomb, but we were trying to be PG because we knew we were going to put this on the internet and stuff like that.
Right.
And I'm like, what the hell? And the woman that I'm sitting there talking to, she says that, and she actually came into my live, and I've got this recorded. She came into the live. She says that she actually saw the rock coming in our light.
Oh, wow.
But you hear the rock really loud on my audio recorder, but it hit hard enough that the camera down the hallway picked it up on audio as well.
Oh, wow. Was it a big rock? Or like a...
No, it was like a stone. It was just like a, I don't know, maybe the size of a...
I'm just going to hold my hands up.
Like a lemon head. You know the lemon heads?
Okay, so
the
smaller
candy?
than this. So like, eek, like that?
Do you know what a lemon head is?
Yeah, like a little sour candy.
Yeah, that's about the size of the rock. I mean, it wasn't like a boulder.
No. But I mean, like, not like an itty bitty one, but like
it wasn't
maybe
like a
the
piece
size of a
dust,
dime.
maybe. But I mean, it was big enough that when it hit, I looked down and I could see it rolling away. And
Jeez.
we're like, okay, yeah, ghosts are real.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That was my turning point in my life, that the paranormal exists, and now I need to know more.
You go looking for it, and it's gonna find you.
Absolutely.
One way or the other. Yeah. I was on a show a couple of weeks ago, and one of his friends has a saying that said, if you're going to look into the paranormal, something's going to look back.
Yeah, that's a version of what Nietzsche said. Nietzsche says, when you look into the void, sometimes the void looks back.
Yes. Yeah. Which is chilling, really, if you think about it. Like, and it's true, though. If you look for it, it's just like anything. You look deep enough, you're going to find something.
If you're looking for love, you're going to find it at some point.
In all the wrong places first.
That's the thing. You got to be looking in the right place.
That's right.
Check out the same thing with the paranormal.
Check out your marriage podcast.
Right. But it's the same thing with the paranormal. You can't find Bigfoot in your living room.
I mean, some people will claim.
Right. But you know what I'm saying.
But yeah,
if you're saying you're looking into Bigfoot and all you're doing is watching videos on your phone, you're not looking into Bigfoot.
That's
if you think you're a paranormal investigator and you never leave your house,
right?
You're investigating your house. That doesn't make you a paranormal investigator.
No.
That means you're just recording stuff in your house. And
yeah.
Some of the stuff you do in your house, I don't want to see on the internet.
That's true. But if you have a haunted house, like I used to have a haunted house, but I wasn't an investigator. But right. I never claimed to be. People get confused. They think I am. And I'm like, I have never once said I'm an investigator. I am a podcaster. I like to talk.
Right.
Oh, did anything else happen while you were there? Or was that like, I mean, that's a lot.
We decided after the rock throwing incident, we're going to finish getting all of our stuff charged up. We spent the rest of the evening in the basement, in the kitchen, because everything basically happened in the kitchen to me. We had probably about an hour's worth of just our EMF detectors going off intelligently. We had an app that kind of like what you're using there, except it just said the words. It didn't put them up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
It came up with some very intelligent responses as well.
Wow.
temperature fluctuations. I'm talking 10, 15 degrees in a matter of seconds. We took all of our digital cameras and had them on tripods, except for two scattered around the kitchen and in the room where I'd heard the banging sound. We had 3 cameras that people were holding while we were doing this. When I went back to look through all this video, only one camera did not have corrupted files for that time. Every other camera was corrupted during that time. Yes, I have tried different computers. I've tried different programs. I cannot open these files. I still have them on my old laptop.
Wow.
They're corrupted. They just like it. It shows there's nothing there, but there's a file name, and when you try to bring it up on your computer, it says corrupted. I've tried putting I still have the SD cards. I've tried putting those SD cards back into the cameras. The cameras themselves won't even read them. Like, you can't watch the video on the camera.
You know, that reminds me, I did an episode of the Sally House, and I've never been to the Sally House, but I did an episode, and my file corrupted. And I've never had that happen before, and I've never had it happen since. Just that one audio bite, my one recording about the Sally House, and I had to redo it. No explanation. I didn't do anything different.
That's how I got started down the rabbit hole of the paranormal. After coming to the realization ghosts are real. I'm like, what else is real that we've been told is fake?
Yeah.
Or that doesn't exist. And I've always, I have a firm belief, and I've always had this belief: we can't be the only ones in the universe. So I do believe in UFOs. I do believe in aliens. Do I believe in I don't know if there's different races. I don't know any of that stuff. I just know that statistically, we cannot be the only ones out there.
Exactly.
Okay? So I didn't really go down the UFO alien rabbit hole that hard, because I already kind of believed in them anyway.
Right.
The other big one, is Bigfoot, And at the time, I didn't know that there were so many different cryptids.
Yeah, me neither.
Everybody's heard of Bigfoot, and that's not supposed to be real. So I was like, I need to look into this. And I think most people, if they have an interest in Bigfoot and they're looking for a podcast, their first landing page is Sasquatch Chronicles. If you are into Bigfoot, you know who I'm talking about. It's Wes Germer. Amazing podcast. And it's all encounter stories. This guy has, I have to look it up. He's got at least, I think it's like 1,200 episodes.
Wow.
Okay. Each episode has at least one person, sometimes 2, sometimes 3 people on the show that have had experiences with Bigfoot.
Yeah. Either
seeing them or whatever. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. He's got all these episodes. There's got to be something to this. Well, I'm listening to, I don't even remember which episode it is of his, and he played the Ohio Howl. And the Ohio Howl is a recording that was done by Moneymaker back in, I think it was like 91 or 92. And it was recording of a supposed Bigfoot in Ohio. I heard this, and all the hair stood up on my body, because I had heard that in real life.
Oh my gosh.
When I was a kid. And I'm like, holy shit, this could be real too. Because I've heard that howl. And I started listening to all these other encounters, and I realized, holy shit, I've had other shit happen. When I was a kid, we used to horseback ride and camp in Southeast Ohio. I didn't know Southeast Ohio was a Bigfoot hotspot growing up, but it is. Like, that's where the majority of the sightings are in Ohio, is in that area. And we camped and horseback rode all over that country down there. And so I had some experiences that I didn't even know were experiences, because they were just weird things that happened when I was a kid, So, yeah. And we don't have to go through all my Bigfoot stuff.
We're going to do that another time. We're going to have a Bigfoot episode. You have an encounter that changed your life.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, I will. I'm going to preface this. I've told this story on, I think, 4 or 5 podcasts. I have yet to get through the encounter without getting emotional. So I apologize in advance. Let's just put it that way.
Just know that if you cry, more than likely I'm going to cry.
It's very, very, I mean, I don't know if you can see my eyes right now.
Yes, I see them.
Getting kind of glassy-eyed. So
yes. Okay. Well.
So I start doing the podcast, and I start doing these paranormal lives and stuff like that. I've come to the realization at this point, I know ghosts are real. I'm pretty certain cryptids are real because of my possible Bigfoot encounters and hearing all these testimonials from people. But still, I've not seen anything that makes it 100% for me at this point. My wife and I, I live in East Central Indiana, not far from the Ohio line. And I grew up in West Central Ohio. So we had spent the day in Greenville, Ohio, Christmas shopping. This was November 30th, 2024. Spent the day Christmas shopping. It was cold that day. I seem to remember we had snow flurries that day. It's late. It's around 7:00 p.m. and we are driving back home, and we have to go through Union City, Indiana, and we're driving up State Route 28. In this area, this is northern Indiana, so there's not a lot of hills, cornfields, soybean fields. This is farmland. Not a lot of lights. There's no street lights. The only lights you have are, some people call them booger lights or security lights at the farms and stuff like that.
Booger lights. I've never heard that.
Get into the cryptids, you'll hear booger lights.
Okay.
But so we're driving along. Becca is on her phone. I made the joke one time texting other dudes, but she was not.
Of course she wasn't.
She was actually putting in a Walmart order for the next day for us to pick up. But so she's on her phone. She is not paying attention to the road. It's late November in Indiana, so you have to be alert for deer. Deer are all over.
Yeah.
They're very active that time of year.
Especially if it was like a full moon or something, they're moving.
I can't recall the moon cycle at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was dark. It was very dark, so I don't think there was like a full moon or anything.
Okay.
200 to 300 yards ahead of me, there was another vehicle. Being that, it's deer season, if you want, that's what you're going to call it. It is deer season at that point. And you're driving down the road, you always keep an eye on the car in front of you, because if you see them brake or you see them swerve, or you might even see the deer walk in between you and the tail lights, So I'm watching this. I never see this car swerve, hit the brakes, nothing. So we come up to this little bridge, and I believe the creek is called Miller Creek or something like that, but it's a feeder to the Mississinawa River. And we come up to the bridge, and there's something in the middle of the road, and at first I can't tell what it is. Like, it's just there's something there. And as we get closer, it is the upper torso of a man, and it's kind of propped itself up on its fists, like it's holding itself up, and I can only see from like the belly button up, and it is gray, not much different than my shirt actually. I've always said it was like a cigarette ash gray, but so it's up on its knuckles, and it's looking to its right. It is on the center line, okay, roughly. So it's looking to its right, and all of this happens within 3 to 5 seconds. Like it's a very quick encounter. But when you see something that shouldn't exist, time slows down. So like I'm seeing this stuff, but anyway, as I get closer, it turns its head to look at me. It had where the eyes should be were like holes. It was very much like a human skull. At least the top half was very much like a human skull. Same gray color, but where the eyes should have been were like holes, like voids. Mm-hmm. It had no nose. Where the mouth should have been looked like skin, like it was just flat. Had no clothes on. I could see the muscles in its chest and its arms and its shoulders. And as I get closer, I'd let off the gas. I hadn't hit the brake, but I'd let off the gas. As I get closer, it's up on its knuckles. With its right hand, it takes like a step, like moving towards the lane that I'm in. And with its left hand, after it makes that step, it lunges at the car,
Oh, shit.
like reaches out towards the car. I swerve. And at this point, Becca looks up because I swerved. And I'm like, did you see that? And of course she didn't.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
course not.
Of course.
And I gun it. Like I got to get out of there.
Right.
I just saw something that shouldn't exist. And so we take off. She's asking me, like, what was it? What was it? And I can't even talk for a while. Like, I don't know. I can't put it into words what I saw. And finally I'm able to tell her, and she's like, do you want to go back? I'm like, no. I'm not going back. The feeling that I got, like we're almost a year later now, and I mean, I still feel like this sadness, like this fear and sadness. Is just what I feel when I think of this thing. But anyway, I'd said earlier that I'd met the guys from Nevermore Hollows at Ohio Bigfoot Jamboree. This all took place within 10 minutes of my house. Okay.
Well, that's terrifying.
Right.
Holy shit.
So I get home and I'm shaking. Like I got to talk to somebody.
Oh my gosh.
You know, I've got Becca at this point. I love her. I do. And she knows that ghosts exist, but she is not into this kind of stuff.
Right.
Okay.
I get it.
I get a hold of Alan from Nevermore Hollows. I'm like, dude, I need to talk to you right now. He ends up getting Chris, his co-host, on the line as well. And they start like talking me down. I'm crying on the phone to these guys, shaking. They tell me, we start working through it. And, one of the things Alan said was maybe it was a ghoul. He had me look up, where it happened and stuff. Come to find out, as you come across this creek, you kind of go down in a dip. And I have driven this road, I don't know how many freaking times. I did not realize that up on this hill was a cemetery.
Oh, no.
And it's like maybe 150, 100 yards away from where this sighting took place.
Okay.
So ghoul, okay, kind of makes sense.
Right.
Could be. I never saw the lower half of this thing. I only ever saw the upper body. So we talked through it. I'm thinking rake maybe. I'm thinking, what, but it looked like this thing was coming up out of the ground because I couldn't see the lower part of the body. And so they get me calmed down a little bit, but I'm shaking. I'm crying, and I smoke. I go outside, smoke cigarettes. One of the questions they had asked me though was, did I hit the thing? And if you've ever hit an animal, you feel it.
Yeah.
And even if it's just a small animal, if it's a bird, you still feel something,
Right.
I didn't feel anything. So I'm out there smoking a cigarette. Like maybe I did hit it. Everything happened so fast.
Right.
And then it's going through my mind, if that was a person,
What if I hit a
just
person? Right.
Right. So I go out to the vehicle and I will send you these pictures. You can post them. I don't care. There are 4 finger marks down the side of my vehicle in the because it's wintertime, so you get like road salt on the side of your vehicle. There's 4 fingerprints down the side of the vehicle so I'm imagining if it's reaching out, like this. I never saw the fingers. I don't know how. I never even saw really the hand. I just saw the arm coming up. But if you're reaching out, your thumb's not going to make contact. It would have to be the 4 fingers. But from this finger to this finger mark was 8 inches. These 2, the bottom ones, were together like that. And like I said, I will send you the pictures. I still have them. And so I went out the side door to smoke a cigarette. Well, I come back in the front door, and Becca, she took one look at me, and she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, it touched our car. And so she comes out, and that's when we took the pictures and stuff like that. I took pictures the next day in the daylight to get a little better view. But yeah, I spent almost a year now looking into the rake and different things like that. And I'd always imagined the rake as being this like scrawny, like emaciated thing. But I've heard other reports of people seeing more muscular built pale crawlers, whatever you want to call them. That's my rake encounter.
I want you to look at your phone. The first picture was when you were talking about it coming up from the ground. I sent you 3.
Let's see which order they came in here.
So the first one, while you were talking about it coming out of the middle of the road, it said it's with the devil. It also, when you were telling me about its fingers, said 4. And then when you said 8 and arm, I remembered that coming across. So I looked through the transcript history, and sure enough, both 8 and the word arm has come through while you've been talking. But again, this cannot hear you because you are coming in through my headphones and the phone is on airplane mode. Also, other names that I have gotten since we've been sitting here, let's see if I can get it, have been Brian, Turner, Pamela, and I've also gotten numbers, let's see, 13, 40. I'm going to...
The 8 was weird because that's how
Mm-hmm.
wide the fingerprints are.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I will send those pictures to you, and feel free to put them up if you want. I don't care.
70, and then 9, and then 4, and then 12. Let me look at my other one. I'm going to send all these so you can look through and see if anything resonates with you. Because sometimes it doesn't resonate until it does. You know what I mean? Like you're thinking, you're looking at something, and it's like, oh my God, that makes sense. And so other numbers that I've gotten, I don't know why I'm telling you numbers. For whatever reason, I feel like I should tell you numbers. 50. Let's see. It's weird when I get a bunch of numbers because I usually don't get I got another 4. I also got the word skull. And
that's what it looked like. It looked like skin stretched over a skull.
Mm-hmm. And then after skull, it said, I am the keeper. Also, I got the name, let's see, Michelle and Jeremy and Joshua, Pamela. Also, numbers 15 and 5.
Now, that really rings anything for me, but
I'm going to send you all this so that way you can just look through it. I got 2 going, so I'm going to send you 2 different ones.
Okay.
But yeah, when you started talking about that, that's what came up was I'm with the devil, and it just said difficult to believe. So
yeah,
it's crazy. I love the necrometer. It's the only one to me that makes sense to me. Like, I know some of them, like if you can edit and add words to a dictionary, I don't want any use for that because I don't want to input my own words. So this one you can't. This one you just turn on and, go for it. So I like this one. So that was difficult to believe. Golly, that is terrifying.
You've talked to me. Not a lot phases me.
No, yeah.
That was the scariest moment of my life.
Yeah.
Because not even so much what I saw. It was the realization that everything's real.
Yeah.
These creatures are real.
Yeah.
And they can interact with us.
It's almost like it was like a manifestation.
Yes.
And that's what's so scary about it. Like where did it come from?
I think that, and Alan, I think, brought this up too. Maybe it was Matthew, but I've talked to so many people about this. But it seems bizarre to me that this would happen after I start going down the rabbit holes.
Yeah.
That I start looking into this stuff. And, I think, and this is just my belief on why I saw this thing, just like with the ghosts and going to Randolph County, they said, look, asshole, we're real and we're going to show you that we're real. I start going down the cryptid thing and I start hearing all these encounters from people and I'm still on the fence about it. And something is saying, we are real. This is real. You're there.
Have you ever had anybody tell you any other rake stories? Have you heard? No.
No, I had never taken a rake story. I have yet to take a rake story. I do have somebody scheduled to come on next week. We're going to just sit down and compare our notes. She has written a book on her encounter.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as rake encounters, like I don't even remember until I actually went down after my encounter, having a rake encounter that I had heard that stood out in my mind because I considered the rake creepypasta.
Right.
It was one of those things that was just made up on the internet. But after my encounter, I start looking into this. The term rake is just a rebranding. It's a pale crawler. Pale crawlers have been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rebranding. It's just like Dogman is a rebranding. You know, we called them werewolves. We called them dog-headed men. We called them, there was another term that it's like canis something. That these things have been around for centuries. They're just getting rebranded into the terminology that we use now.
Right.
So,
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I know we had talked before and you said like I might get emotional. We got to talk about it last. So I really
yeah.
appreciate you reliving it again and telling, because I've never heard a story like that. And it's terrifying because evil, and I associate things like that with the darker entities, you know, where when you accept that ghosts are real and spirits are real, you also have to accept that the darkness is real too. And that is, I can almost like feel that overwhelming, like oppressive, suck the wind right out of your lungs. It's scary. And this just said cleanse yourself. So if you don't cleanse, I would cleanse, go hug a tree and walk in some grass.
I plan on having some Taco Bell. That usually cleanses me
Perfect.
right out.
Even better. Cleans the demons right out your system. And does the number
And for those watching and listening, if I don't make jokes, I will continue to cry. So
make all the jokes. Does the number 12 mean anything to you? Because I've gotten it about 4 or 5 times.
no,
What day were you married?
on the 10th.
On the 10th. Okay. All right. Well, think about it. You know, if it might hit you later, but just 12, because I've gotten it multiple times. And it's just weird that I keep getting it. Like I'm looking at it twice on my screen here and I've gotten it on my other one. It's just like, what is going on with number 12? But I do. I
don't do a lot with the numbers thing.
Oh, I love numerology.
I know. And I do believe in the, you know, sacred geometry and things like that. And numerology. I do think there's something there. I have not went down that rabbit hole. I haven't looked into it enough to where I can even speak about it really.
Let's Google it. Symbolizes completeness, harmony, growth, and the physical to the spiritual realm.
So what I'm hearing is maybe I'm a conduit to the dark side or something.
You're a beacon too. You're a magnet.
I hope not for any of those things again. I'll tell you
No,
that.
I doubt it.
I've said I want to see a Bigfoot.
Mhm.
I do. I said, I think in our recording earlier about the dog man,
Yeah.
I want to see it, but from far away with a rifle and
Ready to
you
go.
know, all that.
Yeah.
I do not want to see another rake. To me, it's pure evil.
I just got the word sloth.
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 And what
we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Wow. Just as I said Bigfoot too.
I know. It was right then. Justin's going to be
Wow.
like, you see? You see what I mean?
Might be onto something. Might be onto something.
That is crazy. I also just got time dilation.
Time dilate. Well,
Which,
you know,
if you people that talk about Bigfoot believe that there's some kind of time realm that he's able to kind of slip through time.
mm-hmm. Well, a lot of these different entities and creatures, there's that belief that they could be from another dimension, another time.
That's so weird.
I was asked before if I thought that maybe it was like a gray, an alien.
Mm.
I don't think there was any time loss, and it just didn't fit. Like, to me, it didn't feel like otherworldly. It felt evil.
Yes. When you tell me and I'm envisioning it in my head, it seems evil. Like, and to
Yes.
me, that is the feeling that I get. It's just overwhelmingly evil and dark and nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
Exactly how I feel about it too.
Well, I do appreciate you telling us about it. And that's heavy. I think the scaredest I've been when I've encountered something like that was in my basement. I had my podcast studio and I saw our house ghost, and I'm assuming it's him. He was a big man in life, like big man. And I saw the shadow move, and it was just shoulders and a head. And he moved from one side of my studio to the other, but it was the feeling he gave me that was so upsetting. It was so heavy, and I was unwanted there, and I started getting nauseous and a horrible migraine. And I knew, I'm not sure if he was trying to enter my body or do something, but I knew I had to get out of the space immediately. And the moment I walked upstairs, it went away.
Wow. Yeah. And I think that people, when they're interacting with whatever it is, whether it's ghosts or cryptids, whatever, trust your gut.
Oh, yeah.
If it feels evil, it's probably evil.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if it's demonic, demons come out, or they want to make you feel comfortable. So be very careful.
Oh, yeah.
When you tread into this realm.
And I'll tell you, not everything's demonic that you think is demonic.
I agree. I
Oh,
agree.
yeah.
But the things that are demonic,
Mm-hmm.
they are tricksters.
Mm-hmm.
They are trying to deceive you. So just be very careful when you start towing that line and looking into this stuff, because just like with me, sometimes it puts it in your face
Mm-hmm.
and you're not ready for it.
If you look, it will look back.
Yes. Yes.
And just so everybody's known, that is not my saying. That is, you've said it. You heard somebody else or something has said, and then somebody else
Nietzsche.
said it to me, Nietzsche. And then somebody
Nietzsche.
else said it on a podcast that I was just on, and it makes perfect sense. And it is true. You go looking for something, you're going to find it.
Right.
Except the
You stare
Bigfoot.
into the-
He is elusive.
I do, like I said, I do want to see him or her.
or
I'm
the
fine
whole
with that.
family.
Right. But I do believe that it's out there after seeing what I have seen.
Mm-hmm.
What I saw was even more unbelievable than Bigfoot or even Dogman.
Yeah.
So I can't in good conscience say there's no way that exists, because what I saw should definitely not exist.
Right. If my listeners are like, oh my God, I need more John Methencamp in my life, where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube, most podcast players, TikTok, Facebook, Myths, Monsters, and Mullets. Getting ready to start my Patreon and buy me a coffee. So you'll get some bonus content over there. You get early access to all of me, all the mullet.
Yeah.
And
all the mullet you
am-
can ask for.
well, I think part of the bonus content will be some of my comedy on Patreon. So give you a little peek at the other side of John Methencamp.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. I want to say thank you. I know sometimes having weird guys and fake mullets approach you on TikTok, they can be kind of scary.
A little bit, yeah.
But
especially when they're asking for your phone number. I'm like, what?
yeah, yeah. And I have this thing where when I click with somebody and I feel a connection with them,
Right.
I don't even think. It's like, this is too hard. Just here's my phone number, you know?
I'm like, here's my email.
Yeah. And that's fine. And after I sent it, I was like, that's kind of creepy. This guy just met me on TikTok and he sent
Mm-hmm.
I realized it afterwards, but sometimes I just don't think.
That's okay. Here we
So
are, months later.
the people that have my phone number, you're actually very privileged, because that's something I don't give out. Normally you do get my email, or I'll tell you to contact me on Facebook or something through Messenger. But I want to thank you, because I feel like over the last couple months we have become pretty close friends, and I enjoy your show for one, but I do enjoy our little chats.
What?
So,
Me too. I really do appreciate you. And you're just, JD and I were talking about you the other day, just the level of support and how big of a cheerleader you are for other creators. And it is incredible. And we see you and we appreciate you. And especially me, like, I felt so alone in this field for years, and I don't feel alone anymore. And that's because you saw me and you're like, here, come into my network, come into my network. And it was the first time anybody in this world has ever wanted me to join them, and it has made a world of difference. So I appreciate you and thank you.
it kind of made me tear up a little bit there.
Oh, I'm gonna make you cry. Let's cry some more.
Because I had Alan and Matthew to help me get started. So I feel like I need to pay that forward because there's so many questions going into podcasting and taking that first step and stuff like that. So if you are thinking about starting a paranormal podcast or any kind of podcast, message me.
Yep,
You know, I don't
contact
care.
John because he is very knowledgeable. If you contact me, I'm going to be like, well, this is what I did. Don't do what I did.
And I'm not saying I'm any kind of expert, but I can tell you what worked for me.
Yes. And it's
What has
great. It
worked for
has
me.
definitely helped. It has helped me so much. And I mean, seriously, all of us appreciate you. Like all of us. I mean, you are a presence, you are a character in all the best ways. And so you just know you just keep doing what you're doing. I'm so glad that we got to meet you and Becca. And I cannot wait to collab with you again and see where this goes.
Thank you. Me too. I love it. I love it.
Me too. All right. Guys, all my information is going to be in the what is it? Show notes, that thing. Down in the description. You know where to find me. Thank you all for listening. And until next time, they'll see you later.